my name is Stefan Conradi and I'm holding different scuba diving instructor certifications from CMAS, SSI and PENI. And today I'm really happy to explain you a few things about our scuba diving program, TriDive. The basic equipment that we need for scuba diving is a mask and some fins, okay, otherwise we can't move underwater. We have a special fin for you that is open here at the heel, so it's an adjustable fin that covers different sizes, okay. So the way you're gonna use them is you walk into the water with us, then you put your foot inside and you will pull this over your heel and then you tighten it on the back. Please bear in mind there's no right or left side, okay? It doesn't really matter which one you put on. Additionally to the equipment that you have seen, we need to have a weight belt, okay? We have a belt with different lead pieces on depending on your body weight. And we need to have it on because we will also wear a wetsuit that will make you float, okay? The wetsuit will look like this in the warm water time. Yeah, we have different models with a zipper in the front or a zipper in the back. Okay, this one has the zipper in the front, and the main character of the wetsuit is that it should keep you warm, but it also makes you positively buoyant. That's why you should wear a weight belt, otherwise you will always float. Okay, now we're coming to the really interesting part of the scuba diving, the scuba gear itself. Okay, scuba means self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. And the scuba gear is basically three parts connected to each other: a tank, a BCD, a buoyancy control device, and a regulator. The BCD is actually created like a backpack, so you hold this thing on your back. You have straps on the sides, you have a velcro, you have a quick release on the stomach and a quick release on the chest, and you're having a release buckle here that connects the tank to the BCD. The really interesting and fun part about the BCD is these two buttons here, okay? One is for inflating. Now you would pop up to the surface, or if you inflate it before you walk into the water, there's no chance to descend because you are positively buoyant and you will float at the water surface. If you want to go down, if you want to descend, make sure that you hold this hose high up on your left shoulder like this, okay? And then you push the top button and then you will slowly sink, okay? We have 4 hoses from the regulator, okay? 1, 2, 3 and 4. One you've seen already, the inflator hose. Another hose on the left hand side shows the gauge. Here you have a depth and this is the pressure gauge, and on top some models have a depth gauge. This is the most important one because this shows you how much air pressure you have left in your tank. Here at the moment you see roughly 180 bar, so a normal filling here with us for a TriDive is around 180 to 200 bar. Okay, we have 2 more hoses on the right. This one here, a black one, that's the primary air source, okay, and we have a yellow one who is actually built exactly the same way, but it has another color. Yeah, the way we use it is we put it into our mouth and inhale and exhale through the mouth. This makes a little like Star Wars sound, okay, but this is very normal. And the yellow one is made for the situation that if the first primary air source doesn't work, you have a second one and back up, or for the situation that is more likely to happen, that one of the divers in the group is low on air, then you can pass him your octopus. The octopus is the second air source, and then the other diver can use your air. In that moment you start breathing from one tank and then you share your air. Underwater we can communicate with our hands. With a voice it's a bit tricky. You can make some noise underwater, but it's pretty impossible to understand your words, okay? So I'm going through with you a few signs that you will see from your instructor. This is the most common one and most important one. It means, hey diver, are you okay? The instructor will expect an answer. If you're good, please give me the same sign. Yeah, that means, Stefan, I'm good. I'm really very well. If you give me this sign, it means, Stefan, I'm not so cool. Something is not comfortable, okay? Please give me this sign whenever you feel not right, and please precise your problem with pointing to it. For example, if you have problems with equalization, then give me this sign, okay? You do this hand signal and point to your ears. The equalization is a very, very important thing that has to be done underwater, okay? Equalization your eardrums means when you leave the water surface, let's imagine this is the water surface, and you go down, the further you go down, the more water you have around you. This water pushes on your eardrums, okay, runs into your ear, and in the between the outer ear and the middle ear you have a tiny little skin that is pushed inwards when you leave the water surface, okay? And it comes to a point that this little skin starts to hurt, okay? Before it hurts, so when you feel already pressure on the eardrum, pinch your nose, try to exhale through your pinched nose, and then you should hear a little popping sound in your ear. A lot of people do that to equalize their ears when they fly, okay? It's exactly the same method, and you can easily do it when you have your mask on. Pinch your nose, try to exhale through your pinched nose, and that the popping sound means the eardrum pops into the normal position. Whenever you have this pressure feeling on your ear, which means whenever you're on your way to the bottom of the sea, when you descend, repeat this skill, okay? And when it pops, yes, the pressure is released and your ear won't hurt anymore, okay? Please do that constantly, roughly every meter, whenever you feel a pressure on your ear. If you have the feeling not both sides pop, only one or none of the sides, it really doesn't cause a problem underwater. Just let me know, just let the instructor know, okay? Give this sign, point to your ear, and then we will stay shallow, we try again. And if it wouldn't work at all, we will stay in very, very shallow water, very close to the surface, so that you can still dive without any problems of your ears. Okay, that's the most important thing, that you don't hurt your eardrums. Yeah. So the signs. What else is important in the water? This means we descend. Okay. This means we ascend to the water surface. This means, hey guys, how much air is left in your tanks? In that moment, I want you to check your depth gauge, which is hanging here somewhere on the left, okay? And then you check your gauge and give me the amount of pressure that is shown here on the gauge, okay? Let's assume you have 180 bar. You can easily show it with your fingers, okay? You give me 10 fingers plus another 8, which means 180 bar. If after a while of diving, let's assume 30 minutes, you are maybe on 90 bar, give me 9 fingers, okay? So please remind, when I show you this sign, it means, hey guys, how much air is left in your tank. There's plenty of other little signs underwater, but we don't need them for our first dive, okay? But one I want to show you, or maybe even two. Okay, one is this. It means, hey, there's an octopus around. We have beautiful octopus, usually sitting in some little holes from the rocky areas. Okay, so if you see the instructor doing this, it means, hey guys, have a look, watch there, there's an octopus. Then you will most of the time see an octopus wrapped around with his 8 tentacles underneath something, because he likes to try it himself. This is another very international common sign. It means, hey, there's a shark around. I don't know if we will see one, probably not. I've never seen any here on Mallorca, but if you're lucky you might see one. So don't freak out, smile and keep calm. Okay, I'm going to explain you 3 different skills. All of the 3 are for me quite important because they make the scuba diving safer for you and much more fun also. Okay, so the first skill, I will explain you how to clear your mask underwater. Imagine that you have a little bit of water in your mask. This can always happen when you have, for example, a little bit of hair between your mask and your head, or someone knocks you with his elbow against your mask because he was so excited to see a special fish. Then your mask might be a little bit crooked, and then you have some water running into your mask. But there's no point to get nervous about it, because you can blow out your mask underwater. I'll show you how. Okay, so first we have the mask on in the water, and then we of course have to simulate a little bit of water running into the mask. Okay, so imagine you're having your mask on, you're underwater, and make sure when you put your mask on that you don't have any hair in between. Okay, so we pinch the top part of the mask like this, and then we have a little bit of water running here into the mask, and it's definitely enough when we fill the mask up to here, 1/3 more or less. Okay, so in that moment when we have the mask a little bit filled with water, we will do 2 important things. Okay, one thing is we will point to the surface, and the second one is we exhale through the nose. Okay, so we do basically this. And we will clear the mask. Now it's a little bit blurred. This shouldn't happen when you spit into your mask before you walk into the water. You wipe the spit and then you clear it with water. But very important is that you spit it on the mask where it's dry. Some people, when they clear the mask, they look up and point with their 2 fingers on top of the mask. This will also help. But the most important thing is 2 things: watching up to the surface and exhaling through the nose. I did mention that all of the 3 skills we will do in a sitting position. That means we will sit with our on our knees in the sandy bottom. Okay. For this skill, we'll take the mouthpiece out of the water, exhale a little bit, and show bubbles like this. That shows me that your airways are open. Okay. And then we put the air source back into our mouth, and then we obviously have a little bit of water here in the mouthpiece, and then we can clear it in 2 ways. One way is we exhale, okay, and the second one is that you push the purge button. Great, so we are coming to the 3rd skill that for me is the most fun one, because it takes a little longer. And it's about playing around with your buoyancy, which means playing around with your position in the water. Because ideally we want to float, okay, neutrally buoyant, which means we want to float like a fish. We don't want to be at the water surface. We don't want to be at the bottom like a flounder crawling around in the sand. Okay, so but how do we get the perfect position in the water? We have to make sure first that the BCD is completely deflated. So all the air is gone, okay? So we hold the hose up. Actually the right position will be like this. I have this on my left shoulder, okay? And then I push this button to deflate the BCD completely. Make sure you hold it as high as you can. Okay, so try
try to straighten your arm and go like this, to hold it as high as you can. You deflate it, and then all the air is out. Okay, and then you inflate the BCD a little. I will point with the inflate button and do this. It means just a little, just one push or two little ones. Okay, if you push too long, like this, I can guarantee you will pop up to the surface like a little rocket. And we have a little golden rule. The person who pops to the surface and hits the water surface with his head has to spend an ice cream to the whole group after the dive. Okay? I had some people having fun doing it because they wanted so bad an ice cream. But if you don't want to spend it for the whole group, try to avoid this. Okay? So again, I explain it one more time. You deflate your BCD completely while you sit in the sand. Make sure you hold the hose as high as you can. Okay? And then you give it one or two little pushes. Okay? And you breathe just normally. Okay? Constantly, normally. Until you notice that your legs, who are of course still bent at the bottom of the sea, that they start to float slowly. Okay, and when this happens, you know, oh, okay, this is the perfect amount of air. I should not inflate more. Okay, just try to keep calm. You can do a yoga position. You can cross your legs. Okay, try to relax, and then concentrate a little on your breathing, and don't forget to face with your eyes the bottom. Otherwise, you don't have a reference. You might start floating without noticing it. So always watch the sandy bottom when you do it, and then you can stay calm, take normal and shallow breaths, and then you can actually play around with your lung, and you can play with the buoyancy, because the lung also influences your buoyancy. It's the BCD plus the lungs. Okay, so when you inhale deeply, yeah, you will higher your volume. Okay, and then you are more positively buoyant. When you exhale more, okay, you lower your volume, you're more negatively buoyant, which means then you would sink. Okay, so actually you can, if this is the sandy bottom, and if this is you, if you inhale, you would go up. If you would exhale, you would go down. In that moment, you're positively you're neutrally buoyant when you float. Okay, that's the magic about it. It takes a few minutes, but it doesn't matter. The more important for me is that you master the skill, because once you understood how to get neutrally buoyant, how to float perfectly in the water, then the scuba diving for you is way more fun, because you can control yourself all the time. You can control the position of the water. When you're too high up, just push the top button, not forgetting holding it up. And if you're feeling, oh, I'm almost in the sandy bottom, inflate a little more, okay? And then you will start to float a little. So the very last thing about the introduction is the environment. Okay, we want to treat it really safely and really with a lot of caution, and we want to really try to behave as gentle as possible. So we don't want to touch anything, we are not going to kick anything, and if we have physical contact, we only try to have it in the sand, at the sandy bottom. Okay, because otherwise we might disturb the fish, we might disturb the plants. So the best is if we are just an observer underwater, if we leave everything as it is, and if we dive silent and calmly, and then we leave the water. Okay, so we will start on the left side usually in Cala-Mollins. So at the very beginning I would like you, of course you can go to the rocks and observe the fish life, but don't touch the rocks and don't step on them. Okay, stay on the right side, so that if you have to stand up or anything, then you can do it at the sandy bottom. Okay, that would be really kind of you. And now I would like to wish you a wonderful dive. I hope you're having a lot of fun. I hope that this will be really a unique experience with you. And I really hope that you're enjoying the time with me or the instructor from our team. Have fun.